Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today I'm going to do update 6, and right now I can't find my tripod, so unfortunately I'm holding the camera by hand. Unfortunate for you guys. But I got quite a mess going on in here, and I'm not real proud of the mess, but I think I have the track figured out with the complex, to me, complex height issues with the track over here by the window. So anyway, I'm going to give you a look at what I'm doing, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay everybody, I guess you know what this means. I have a whole bunch of 2-inch risers, 4-inch risers, 1-inch risers, and 2% inclines, and 1 3% incline in case I need it, which I think I will in 1 or 2 places. But anyway, let me get up here and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, I'm going to hold the camera way up high here so you can see. I've sorted all my track pieces. I've started laying the pieces out as the track plan dictated. And we're just talking about the mainline tracks for right now. You can see that I have them, I actually had them all laying flat, and I am now trying to determine track heights. And I'll get into that in a second. You can see that I just have stringers underneath here just temporarily in place. But let me get into a little more detail as to what's going on here. Okay, these 4 pieces of riser that you see right here is a 2% incline. And it's going to be just slightly under 3 inches when it gets to the bridge over there. It'll continue to go up on the opposite side of the bridge 2 to 3 inches and on up to 4 inches right over there. And then from 4 inches, I think I'll continue the 4-inch all the way. I know it's 5-inch, but we're going to do 4-inch just because it's easier with the risers to this end of that siding. And then I think I will continue to climb down there somewhere, as I had said before, and then back downhill. But all this up and downhill over there is going to be no problem. I'll just mark the track out and start this at 2 inches probably. I might get up to 3 inches, I'm not sure. But whatever, this siding right here that the train is sitting on now will be either 2 or 3 inches high. And I will go up from there around that curve and then back down to the 4 inches here. I know all of that makes sense. What probably doesn't make sense is why is the train sitting out here? No, I have not run trains, but I do have I believe it's an 18-car train here. It does fit onto this siding with 3 locomotives and a caboose, and it also fits on the siding up there that's now drooping up on top there. By this time, I'm sure you've all recognized that I have not cleaned any of these track pieces or anything. I merely put them all together to see how the track plan laid out on top of the foam. So this will, once I get everything marked where the risers go, to be able to put the risers in, I will go ahead and glue the risers in and trial fit all the track back together, and at that point it will all be disassembled and then reassembled after all the track pieces are clean. If I get up here, that 3 right there on the top of that piece indicates that that's part of a 3% incline. And if I swing you back around here, there's a 2 on that piece over there indicating that's a 2% incline. So it will be 4 inches around that curve down to about a 3.5 or a little more than 3.5, 3 3/4 there. The track down here, it says 2-inch, but that's actually going to be only 1 inch. I decided I just don't have enough rise or coming around behind the camera here. I'll get to that in a second. You can see that this is all stacked for 1 inch all the way along there. This other track that you see right here goes down into the flat portion, into the switching area, which I don't need to lay any of that out right now because we know that's going to work on flat. I just wanted to really make sure that I'm going to have clearance on my 2 bridges here. There'll be a bridge right there, by the way, another bridge. And this track that you see in the foreground without a bridge is actually a reversing section. It'll come off right over here. It'll incline at whatever percentage it winds up being and come across there. and connect back in here to reverse in one direction. Then I have a reverse track that's sagging down in the middle of nowhere here that will have to be at whatever incline it winds up being to get from this level right here to the 1-inch level right over there. That's reversing the opposite direction. The turnout that you see with no track tied to it on the other side over there will be an industrial spur that will go back into this area back here in the back, which will highly likely not contain anything industrial, or not anything to do switching. The switching may take place back in there, and I'm not even real sure of that because it's going to be kind of hard to get to that area. What I may do is I may resort to putting some 1-inch foam or 2-inch foam up in there and putting some kind of a village and some hills and stuff and go back to kind of a mountain scene back there. I'm not really positive, but I'll figure out something when I get that far. The idea right now is to get this track all up. And like I say, this track will all be it says 2-inch on the board, but it's all going to be 1-inch underneath this bridge. At this point right here, this track will start to incline up. And as you can see, it's 2-inch there, which makes a goofy rise. But we'll get the correct risers under it to 2-inch here. And then maybe incline up to 3 inches over there. And then from that 3-inch section or 2-inch section, whichever I decide to do, way back there, it'll go uphill. And then back down to my 4-inch here. So I hope that all makes sense. I've gone over it 15 times and I know you guys are probably bored with it. So let me turn back around. This incline here is pretty consistent, just laying on the stringers or the risers. Going down here to the 1-inch point, which will be right over in here somewhere. And then 1-inch on around. Probably what I'll do is I'll take that 3-inch high piece there, start it at the bridge, and just come down with this. However far this winds up going, take this 1-inch piece into the 1-inch that's going to go around there. If that makes sense. So let me back up here and get kind of down here. And now I kind of hope you can see how the elevation change will be around here. It doesn't seem like the wisest decision to put the lower track in the back, but for watching trains that's probably going to work. And once the trains leave the main line here and go underneath the bridge there, then all the switching stuff will take place out here for the majority. Like I said, I just put that siding in back there. If I decide to put some kind of industry back in there, hopefully the stuff can be pushed in there and picked up without having to reach back there. That being said, you can see how this track is going to cut in right here. So this will obviously be cut in some, so I may be able to reach industry back there. I just don't know. But like I say, I'm just concerned about inclines and declines right now. And it looks like what I have here at this very moment will work. So I have plenty of clearance under the bridge, obviously, for this track. Right now I've got a full 2 inches. I could actually start inclining that up slightly right in here to get up to this point right here. I just have to figure out what my minimum clearance is there, which I think is 1 3/4. The track on the bottom is obviously no issue whatsoever. And as you can see, I've got a lot of new track pieces I had to get out because I didn't have enough pieces of my used track. I have all my used track marked. By the way, I'm going to get back to this. I've said it in other videos, but I'm going to tell it to you again. Hold on 1 second. Okay, all this 19-inch radius here was just recently depackaged here. And I'm going to tell you this just because it saves you all kind of time and frustration if you have an existing track plan, which I've been making adjustments on the plan with the pieces I've been putting in, hopefully. So I can come back and redo that in any rail and get all the pieces correct. It probably won't be 100%, but anyway, it'll work. What I was going to tell you is, anytime, and I've said this before with the Kato Unitrack, since we're stupid and we don't know metric in this country, I would recommend that you put the part number and the radius of the curve on every piece. When you take it out of the package, write that on there with a Sharpie. Because then if you lay all this track down, when I lay all this track down, I can record those pieces and where I'm putting them. And then when I take it apart, I can just put all the correct pieces in the correct piles. I don't have to search for the little bitty numbers that you can't read on here, which say what the radius and the degrees are in millimeters, and I don't know what that is. So anyway, the recommendation is to mark all your Kato parts so that you know what they are. By the way, this 140 that's not marked is a 15-inch radius. I also, just for anybody's sake that doesn't know, and I didn't know, had a gentleman call me yesterday and says, can I go from a number 6 turnout to double track? I said, I don't know. He says, well, Kato can't tell me. And he said, but somebody told me that you can use an S64, which, if we look somewhere, where? You can see that that straight piece is an S64. This curved piece, I believe, well, I'm not sure what radius that is, but I think it's a 9 3/4 radius. But anyway, if you put those two pieces together, yes, you can get to double track from a number 6 switch. I just happened to be standing out here when he called on the phone, so I just put the pieces together, and yes, it works. As you can see, I have a lot of track and turnouts to clean. Like I say, getting the elevations over here is no sweat whatsoever. I'll just mark with a Sharpie where the track is going to go, put the risers in, and off I go. Like I say, I put this train out here just to be sure of what length of train will fit on the sidings, the 2 sidings. Well, 3 sidings, but this siding down here is extremely long, so there's no problem there. Anyway, gang, gee, it seemed like I had a whole lot more to tell you, but as you can see, I believe I have the elevation problems figured out. So now I'm going to take all these foam pieces out of here, get all the track straightened back up, mark all the track, and then I think I'll start elevating all these pieces in this area right here and try and get all this in order. And then once I do that, all of this stuff from here down this way is just no sweat. So the next thing is to lay all the track back down, make sure everything's connected together, and mark everything. And I'll update you when I get a little bit further along. Okay, gang, I decided to add this to the video. I just got this 2% tacked in, coming around and going to 1 inch. The 1 inch didn't quite meet, but I will put a couple of little pieces in there, and then that's 1 inch just sitting there. But I'll continue with it on tonight, and but I'm pretty happy with the grade. I think it's going to look good, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that quick update. As you can see, I have quite a mess, and I hope you guys continue to follow along, and I think the next step is to try and put down the risers and stuff that you see. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and as always,